And one of the comments was that we are, I can't remember the word she used, but, and I'm going to paraphrase. So she said something like, we are basically like hurt or attacked or whatnot when we seek to thrive and be powerful, or when we don't live up to what society expects for us to live up to. And I wonder how many of you here have heard, or even you have said something like, they seem to have this standard for Black women. Like, what is this standard they have for Black women? They keep giving us this standard, this totally different standard than other women have. Have y'all heard that? And if so, how do you feel about that? Holding Black women to this standard, holding us to this standard that they're not holding other races of women to. Y'all heard that? I love when TikTok says some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community's experience. I'm like, why didn't you let the trolls in? That's big. When I read that, I'm like, oh, they didn't let the trolls comment. Let them comment, because sometimes we like to play with them. Thank you for following, Carl. Hi. What's up, Mulatto? So nobody has heard that or has expressions about that? What are your thoughts or feelings about that? Does that seem unfair? Does that seem like some external pressure that society is imposing on Black women? Like, how does that feel? Somebody said it feels up, right? Is that what you're? I feel like maybe it's because the world seeks to make things harder for us in hopes we will give up. Okay. So I remember yesterday, I went live yesterday, and there's a woman, I'm going to message her. Hopefully she and I will go live together. She did a video saying that she's like, Black people are so behind, and it frustrates her because she's doing God's work and she needs us to catch up. And like, her work is to help us catch up, etc. And I commented to ask her, what does she mean? Blah, blah, blah. And she did a response video this morning, and I was so appreciative of it. And in that video, she said, she mentioned a variety of things. She mentioned, one, that there's still a lot of stigma around therapy or seeking help of any kind and actually paying for professional help. So I think she's a therapist, but I know she does transformational work. I don't know, I'm unsure in what capacity, but I know she does transformational work. And so she talked about the stigma there. She talked about that not only are, and she talked about it in a layered way. So I love her dynamic thinking. She talked about how much further Black men are behind Black women as far as their development and power and expression in the world. And then she talked about how Black folks are behind as far as the collective is concerned, as far as our development and our growth. And then she just talked about the collective and how behind they are from her perspective. And how I see that as being relevant in this conversation is the fact that some of you, and maybe even some of you who haven't spoken, you feel like someone said here something to make things harder for us in hopes that we'll give up. Somebody said, we're very strong. I feel like they constantly test our strength, and this view, because when you say that, you're telling us how you think about this, right? Like, whenever you listen to somebody talk about anything, they're basically telling you how they think about a thing, and oftentimes how they think about themselves and how they think about other people. So when you say that, what I can also see is how you see yourself in the context of this. I can see how you even interpret external society pressure. right? To live a certain standard, to be at a certain position. So like Mulatto says, so they try so hard to break black woken down, right? Black women down, right? So would it be safe to say Mulatto and top tier or top Tia and who is this SC Studio? Would it be safe to say that you perceive society's pressure, if you will, that there's a standard for black women to live, whatever that standard is, because that we could get clear about that. Well, what is the standard that you're perceiving here, right? That you perceive that as their attempts to, like break us down, make it hard, that you perceive it as that. So if you perceive it as that, you're going to have a response to that. If that's how you perceive it, you're going to deal with it like that because you see it like that. Does that make sense before I go further? I want you to see how I'm taking this to the whole, we need to catch up. And we're so fucking behind psychologically. We're behind. This is why white people are running circles around us. This is why we're at war with each other, because our minds are so fucking behind. Wake the fuck up. So it makes a lot of sense, right? So if you see it like that, every time something happens where you feel like society is putting some kind of pressure on you, standard that you're going to deal with it like that, versus who here knows who you are? Knowing who you are quells a lot of these things that you all are putting here. Who are you? Who are you? Do you know? Who are you? Why do you live? Why do you breathe? Why are you in your body right now? Why were you born? Why the fuck are you here? Why are you here? Just to work my job and raise these kids the best I can and travel from time to time and hang out on TikTok and enjoy TikTok. Like, why are you here? Does anybody have an answer? Who are you? Why do you breathe? Like, why do you get up every day, do your makeup, make sure you look good, go out into the world? Why? Why? Studio said exactly the question I've been having to ask myself. Top Taya said, I've been struggling with this during this growth, very uncomfortable. So we have a social responsibility to serve. Okay. The reason why I ask is because when you know who you are, no matter what external pressure from society comes, like the standard, this arbitrary standard seemingly for anybody, for black women, for black men, for white men, for immigrants, whatever standard that society puts up for any group of people, for gay people, for mothers, for single mothers, for senior citizens, whatever standards society decides to erect for whatever their reasons, when you know who you are, that doesn't matter. You handle it according to who you are, not what they say. Why am I saying this? When Miss Millennial says Black people need to catch up, we are so far behind. When I say you're looking at this standard, that arbitrary standard that society holds for Black women, and feeling like, oh, that's their attempt to break us down, that's their attempt to make us struggle. What I hear as someone who can hear multidimensionally is, one, you don't know who you are, and two, you exist at a victim consciousness. That is what I can hear and see. This is what I mean by how far behind. Like, we should be teaching them this, not them being so far ahead psychologically and you being in such victim consciousness that they can come and say something, project a standard, project a belief system, and because you're in such a victim consciousness, you just take it like, see, they want to break us down. They want to make it hard. They want to make it struggle. But if you knew who you were, you would look at that totally different. For example, I'm a God. I know that. I've unified my opposites, which is what you all will come to do over time inside of my woman community. To find out more about the woman community, which is $99 a month, you come into my Womanhood Initiation. The wait list you can sign up for by going to the link in my bio, or if you're on YouTube, go to the description and register. The uh, the doors will open to the Womanhood Initiation tomorrow. Right now, there's a wait list, but you'll be able to open it tomorrow. Come in tomorrow. I mean, more detail. Anyway, go to the link in my bio. Get on the wait list today. When I see, okay, me, Naima, the God, the full-powered, unified woman, which all of you are going to be required to do. Many of you won't do it because it's difficult. It's just difficult by the sheer fact that before we were born, the rhythm that's been laid down, the lies and consciousness that's been activated, harmonized, right, and made upside down. It's a whole other conversation. And normalized that all of us have been agreeing to, right? Our parents agreed to, our great grandparents, because that has been present for so long. Here you come standing in truth, and this is what makes it difficult, okay? If everybody knew who they were and we were living in truth, it wouldn't be difficult. But because there was so much lies laid down long before you and I got here, this is what we're up against. Because everything that was laid down before we got here has been implanted in our unconscious minds before we got here. Keep that in mind, okay? Thank you for all the gifts and the roses and the sharing the live passion. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you, Mulatto. Anybody else here, if you're finding value and you want other people to get this value, please share it. So I, as Naima the God, unified, having been born this way, disconnected from myself for some of the same reasons you all have, abuse, being beat into forgetfulness, having people reject me when I stand in all the things that I know all of us share, okay? And then doing the work very intentionally for the last 12 years to come back into unification so I am whole, so I am one, so I can sit and stand before you here as a God. When I see this arbitrary standard that society is like, Black women are this, need to live up to this, et cetera, what I see and know is, because keep in mind, just as we have an understanding that we have inherited things from our ancestors, those of us who had enslaved ancestors. And so we walk around with this sort of memories that are not ours, right? And also, not only do we have memories of enslaved ancestors for those of us who have them, but we also have memories of our God nature. We always focus on memories and DNA imprints from our enslaved ancestors for those of us who had them, but very rarely do we own and put into the conversation also the memories for those of us who are of God, who are God, right? Who come from royal bloodlines. And I mean that literally. I don't mean that in this like Cinderella, I'm a king, queen thing. I mean, those of us who have always felt the sort of knowing that we are here to rule, okay? And not from a wanting to, be something important, but it's what it is. And so you got all that going on from a Black woman or Black man's perspective. What about what's in the deep mind of non-melanated people? We're going somewhere with this, stick with it. What's in the deep mind of white men? What's in the deep mind of white women? What's in the deep mind of everybody who's not melanin dominant? But they are blind. Okay? So when they are holding this standard, they don't even know that in their deep mind, they know you are the reverent one. So that's why they're holding you to a standard. Even when they're being racist, even when they're doing things that you could perceive as they want to make it hard for us. No, they actually want you to demonstrate the God that you are. oh, see, they trying to tear us down and make it hard. No, they actually want you to stand on who you are and stop letting white men and women make you all like, see, that's Becky on that Karen shit. See, this is why I can't fuck with corporate, because see that you see what I mean? You see what I mean? This is why I told y'all, you in such a victim mind, you need to catch the fuck up. This is why you need to come into the woman community, my woman community. This is why you need to sign up for Shadow Go. Quit crying about Karen and Chad and racism and all of the things. They continue to be able to do what they do because you crying about it. Because you sitting over here, see, because we oppressed, see? Because this system is fucked up, because capitalism got niggas under that. They have been able to do this all the while because you niggas ain't caught up. They've been able to do this the whole time because y'all crying, looking around, waiting for somebody to save you, waiting. Oh, see what they trying to do. See, they trying to make it hard for us. Being worried, putting all your energy and focus on what Chad doing and what they doing in corporate or what Karen. See what Karen did, creating all these videos about, look at what Karen, girl, look at Karen, y'all. Girl, Karen know who you are. Karen know exactly who the fuck you are. Okay? Is you gonna stand up? Do you know who you are? And even more, do you even want the power in being who you are? I.e., why today's topic is own you and feel it. So many of y'all don't even want the responsibility of your power. You don't want to be black, and you don't even, if you could get rid of your royal blood, you would for some of y'all. So that's what you need to do. You need to go have a serious, for some of y'all, you need to go have a serious conversation with yourself and ask you, do you want to be in possession of, do you want to own the royalness that you truly are, the God that you truly are? Or is it like, nah, man, this shit too hard. See, because they gonna do this. And see, because remember how they did that? And see, because this is, because see, because black people don't want that. We too divided. We need to unite. See, because see, you see how you are the enemy to you? Do you see that? So then shut the fuck up and stay over there in your little world talking about Karen and Chad and capitalism and oppression, all the shits y'all talking about. Okay? Shut the fuck up. Get off my live stream. Go sell some pussy or something. You know what I'm saying? Go sit the fuck down and complain and whine and find everybody else who want to do the same thing with you. Okay? Because what I'm telling you is you have the power. You are powerful beyond measure, literally. When you unify your opposites, meaning that which is dark in you, that which is light. When you take everything inside of you in your deep mind that you're terrified of, terrified of being raped, terrified of being owned, terrified of being lynched, terrified of being controlled, terrified of being tricked, terrified of being possessed, terrified of getting harmed, killed, massacred, them taking your money, killing your mom, taking your kids, everything. And you stand toe to toe, face to face with that shit. Feel it. Feel it. Why it says it? Feel. And then relax. Relax. Pull it in. 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 Do you want the power or not? Or you just want to go join the 4B movement because niggas ain't shit. I'd rather bears than the man because this system is Armageddon. Reconcile your fear of death. You scared of being, you scared of somebody coming in your house in the middle of the night and slitting your throat? Is that a fear? What? What is it? Name it. What is it? Put it in the chat right now. What is it? Oh, because I'm gonna be, if I do that, my grandma gonna call me the devil, and I'm gonna be rejected from the family, and then I'm gonna be under a bridge and broke and alone. What is it? Get down up in there. What is it? This is where we go inside of my woman community. Listen, y'all do know y'all gonna die, right? Like you do, like you have a great grandmother who you've never met, right? Why you ain't met her? Because she died, right? You have a great grandfather and you didn't meet him, right? Because he died. Like you gonna die. Like your mama gonna die or is dead. Okay? So what you gonna do with your limited time? Get present with the, like you out of here at some point. I repeat, if you're ready to reconcile this fear that I'll be unlovable, it's a good one, Shamora, thank you. I'll be unlovable. My mama ain't gonna be cool with that. My husband is not gonna wanna be married. Like, that's not gonna work in this marriage because part of how this marriage works is that I'm less of myself. He only feels like a man when I'm less of myself. You see how you keep your man disempowered? He only feels like a man when I'm less of myself. He only feels like a man when I'm divided. You see how you keep your man disempowered? You don't love him, not truly. I'm scared I won't finish my purpose. Don't finish it then. Just hang out there, stay there. You've been there all this time. Life seems to be pretty fine, huh? Stay there. You can do whatever you want to do. Stay there. Stay scared. Or go join all the other people who are scared too. That should be fun. Oh, what a worthy life. Do you have children? Oh, wonderful. What a great example. Get on the wait list for my womanhood community right now. Go to the link in my bio. Who feels called to this? The woman community is $99 a month. When you come into the Womanhood Initiation, that's your opportunity to get to know. It's your opportunity to start to address your own personal fears, to be witnessed, because we're going to be on Zoom together, seeing and hearing each other for 1 hour. The Womanhood Initiations are 1 hour. There's going to be 4 of them next week. Which one are you coming to? Go put yourself on the wait list right now. Go to the link in my bio, click it. I think it's the second option. It says Womanhood Initiation. Put yourself on the wait list right there. What time is it? Okay. So I'm either going to go in a particular direction or I'm going to let questions lead our way here. Who has a really urgent question? I don't want to hear nothing like, who here has a sincere question that they need answered? Please share the live stream if you haven't already, and please give it hearts. How good does it feel to be scared, Taptea? How good does it feel? How familiar does it feel to be scared? It's so familiar. Oh, I'm scared. Yes, that's familiar. Because if you were to move yourself into a different unknown feeling, scared, yeah, that one. I'm scared that I won't fulfill my purpose. Let me ask you this. Are you scared because you know you're not moving in that direction? And you know you're not moving in that direction. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unconscious mind. Somebody said, how do you go about sitting with your I'm going to ask the question back to you and let's see what happens. SE Studio. Hi, SE Studio. Would you like to share your name? SE Studio. SE Studio, this question is directly to you. Hello, SE Studio. Hi, darling. I have a question for you. How do you go about sitting with your emotions? SE Studio, could you answer me that, please? How do you go about sitting with your emotions? Beautiful name, Zari. How does it feel, Kiamisha? How does it feel? I want you to really feel. Y'all need to learn to feel. Most women don't really know how to feel in a way that's alchemical. They feel, then they drown in feelings, right? So you're feeling for the sensation of it. All it is, you learn how to do inside of the woman community. I'm telling you, listen, a lot of y'all would say, anyway, listen, I fear feeling emotions. The fact that you fear feeling emotions tells us that you feel. How does it feel to fear? I'm going to say something, and this is for everybody what I'm getting ready to say. How does it feel to be afraid? Sensationally. Don't immediately answer unless you want to. How does it feel to be scared? Like, really feel what's it like to be afraid? What if I told you that you like being afraid? You like it. What if I told you that as of right now, fear is the peak feeling that you will allow in your experience? Fear is the peak feeling you will allow. You see how y'all need to catch up? You see what I mean by y'all need to catch up? All white folks, they're ahead of y'all. There you go. There you go. See? You see? An adrenaline rush. So look, if you want to stay there, you can. That's why I told whoever that was who was like, I'm scared I won't finish my purpose. Stay there. Stay there. Whoever that is that Anna? I don't know. Aha. But if you keep doing it, you like it. You called me out, aha. Let's play. Come on. You called me out. You talking about I was being really disrespectful and rude? First of all, is that what you're saying here? And if you don't want to listen, to respond to girls who said, but too much fear will drain me. If you repeatedly activate fear, live in fear, defer to fear, you want that. This is how the unconscious mind works. There's a module inside of Shadow Gold. Listen, you want there's a module inside of my master course that will change it. The power that practically no woman has. Let me reframe that. She has it, but she'll never live in it. She'll never erect it and wield it as her dominant state, which is what you need if you're going to live a truly thrilling life at the highest levels for you, okay? Because everybody's highest levels is different. There's a module inside of Shadow Gold that says, hating what you love and loving what you think you hate. Hating what you love and loving what you think you hate. What do I mean? Those of you who constantly are afraid, and like, or like I was once upon a time, like, why am I broke? Why can't I afford this? Just why? What's your thing? You whine and complain. Why does this keep happening? Why does this get? Because you like it, but it's unconscious to you, so you do it at an unconscious level. No, I said fear is it's uh, uh it's it's well a couple. I said what I said in the video that I did talking to black men. I said fear is just excitement. That's what I said. I didn't say it's distorted excitement. I said it's excitement. It just, depending on the context within which you're looking at it, you'll see it different. Meaning, like, if you get excited because um, somebody compliments you, you'll see that as a positive. Or you feel an excitement because somebody says something that you perceive as judgmental, or just something that feels like intimidating, you're going to see it as fear. But when the person learns to get down into their body physiologically, it's the same sensation, but you'll frame it differently depending on the context of the situation. Right? Like when you get ready to get on a ride at a theme park, one of those big, ones like that. It's like, whoa, 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 shit, right? But when a car is coming your way and you almost get hit, you're not like, whoa, because you perceive a car coming as this is going to kill me. This is so you perceive it as threat, danger. So you see it, so you interact with it different. That's what I mean by fear is just excitement. And I talked about it at a different angle too. Girl, listen. This is why I want black. Hold on. Also, I feel like there was something else here. Joining us live with you. Glad. Hello, Sherry. Sherry, what's up with you? I'm telling you, your energy, just the whole what's happened in the DMs, what's happened in the comments, the fact that you've never really like, who do you think you are? What do you think this is? You just like interacting, like sort of like showing up and sort of, but never really, and maybe that's not even conscious to you. I was like, girl, right on, Hadija. Hadija said, cry about it. Top Coat says she ain't ready. Listen, this is why I want black people to catch up, and I'm gonna move on. And melanin dominant focus, but okay, melanin dominant paper. Okay. Listen, we need to get really comfortable with this is why, for me, okay, you may feel different, and I would love to hear how you feel. This is why it's important to me. One, we are way too easily knocked down. We're way too easily knocked down off our vision, off our knowings, off our power, off our voice. We are way too easily knocked down. Okay. Hey, YouTube, I see you. For a large number of us who got some real power going on. Yesterday, when I was live here, I talked about how some of us have X-Men power. We have power that was in the Matrix. We have power. We have it, but it's so suppressed, and we're so scared of it. We're scared of being called the devil. Oh, that's witchcraft. Oh, because the Bible say that means this, and that's evil, wicked spirits, and that all of that is by design. All of that is by design. If you are afraid of your X-Men power, the women who could touch and heal and knock things down by just focusing on it, like all the things that we love to get excited about in X-Men, Superman, Matrix, that other show that series that was on Netflix, with all of those gifted girls who went to that gifted school because they were in normal schools, and all the kids were calling them weird and strange, and right, and like any movie that you could see anywhere that shows magical people asserting their powers, and there's always some adventure of them like getting knocked down or being scared of their powers, or even Ice. What was that Ice? That cartoon, a Disney, where the princess had, when she got activated emotionally, she could harm people. And then so they told her she had to learn to tame it, but then they told her to hide and she had to wear gloves. And there's this whole adventure, and then she had to learn how to refine her power and use it for good, right? Frozen, that's it. I said ice, huh? Yeah, Frozen, right? We have this power now. We have this power now. But as soon as you are on the way up, you definitely can accomplish so much alone and you won't get far. That's why I say everybody's idea of their thrilling high life is different. If it's enough for you to work alone and to wield power alone and do things alone, have at it. Been there, done that. And the women who are in the women community, they have done that. Healing for alone for 10, 15, 20 years, doing transformational work alone, working on projects alone, research alone, all this alone for years. And then they all very naturally and organically come to a place of, I've gone as far as I'm going to be able to go alone. And that's when they just naturally start seeking their sameness out in the world and they find their way to here or somewhere else where they feel called. Okay. And so we have these powers now. We have the power of storm now. We have the power of the matrix now. We have the power of all frozen. We have it all now. It's repressed. And as soon as we're on the up, when I say the up, I mean we're starting to unleash it little by little, by little, by little, by little, by little, by little, by little. The people who are in our current world, who exist only because we've been at that frequency for so long, they start to knock us, push your husband, he gonna knock at it. Your mom, who do you think you are? Your grandma, that's some devil shit. The Bible say this. Boom, yeah. And then you are challenged of how you gonna stand on that thing. How you gonna stand? Are you gonna take it next? Are you gonna take it next? Are you willing to lose that husband? Or is he gonna rise with you? Are you willing to lose that relationship with your mother, or is she going to get in line? Are you willing to lose that job, or is that going to take you and keep your powers down? Are you willing to lose that, or right? And then this is why I have said so many times: many will embark, few will sustain. Many will embark, few will sustain. Many will embark. I'm trying. I'm working on it. I'm looking at my powers. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Few will sustain. Okay? And so this is where the great divide starts to happen of who's who, really. Who's who, really. Okay? And then so you start to unleash it more. You start to unleash it more. They fall off. You say, I keep going. Unleash it more. Fall off. And then you start being able to do. So for those of y'all, because I know some of y'all in here looking at me like, wow. Like, right? You admire me. Right? You're scared of me. I know there's some of you that are scared of me. You know what it is? You're scared of yourself. And I'm reflecting it back to you. Okay? Your power starts to unleash. Little by little, the opportunity presents itself all the time. And this is what you need to remember, which you will be doing inside of the woman community. Let's go. Let's go. What you will be doing is remembering, one, many will embark, few will sustain. Number two, nobody gets far outside of structure, outside of the right community, outside of accountability. Most of us do not get far. And by the way, who wants to be doing this shit alone anyway? Hello? Also, how much fun is important. Joy is important. Pussy power is important. What? Did y'all see my video with me in Italy? Like, we should be doing this. We're supposed to be getting rich together, having fun together. You know what I mean? You with your man or however you get down in the penthouse, being bent over, fucked good, served. I mean this shit. I don't mean this in like some, oh, that sounds so exciting, but no, I don't really believe it. Not in like some, wow, that sounds fucking amazing. Yes, girl. But you ain't really willing to develop yourself to have that as your reality. Because many will embark, few will sustain. Who's coming to the Womanhood Initiation? Who's coming? What up, Lady T? What up? What up? Who's coming to the Womanhood Initiation? What up, MJ? Like, are you ready? I see it's 54 of y'all here. Who's coming? or do you need heal your witch wound to get started today? Who's ready to own their magnetic sex power so you can stop being afraid of who you know you are? It's going to be on Zoom. You're going to get links and details. Don't worry about that. Just put yourself on the wait list. Everybody will get a Zoom to link who's registered, and you're going to show up at the day and time that works for you. Because remember, there's going to be 4 of them next week and next week only. Yeah, you on that shit. You on that shit. I really like demons. I really like demons. I like people like you. It's as good as it's gonna get for you, baby girl. It's as good as it's gonna get. I know your bloodline. Girl, hilarious. So the woman community is for women, by the way. So for the men who are inquiring, it's for women. Now, here's the thing. I do want men who are sincere about full power, okay? About existing harmoniously and traversing all of the darkness to actually become unified beings. It's very difficult work. It's humiliating. It's thrilling. It's transformative. It's ego defying. I so want to see Black men unified. Like, and so many Black women do. All of this shit on the internet, girl, that's a whole other conversation. I'm not going to get into that right now, but it's definitely a worthy conversation. If you're not, as a lifestyle, not just every now and then when you got a little part-time, as a lifestyle, developing who you are as a man, you're constantly like weak. You're in a state of forgetfulness. You're in a state of victim consciousness. You're in a state of fear. It's a whole other playing field for melanin dominant men and melanin dominant women to be in full power together, traversing these difficulties together, sincerely, where it's truly a purpose-driven thing. And I think a lot of this is already ordained. Like you can't fake this. You can't fake it. This is next level. Most of y'all, your mind, you can't even wrap your mind. Like you don't really get what I'm saying right now for most of y'all. Really traversing the depths of your unconscious mind, which is completely hidden from you. Completely hidden from you. All of us. To truly traverse your unconscious mind as a lifestyle so that you bring it into yourself versus have it either hovering as a victim consciousness, or like something to sort of keep to the side, to be scared of, to avoid. This is what keeps us behind, by the way. This is why we're so scared of elevating, because what lives in the unconscious mind of so many of us is, if we rise, they're going to kill us. If we rise, they're going to take it. If we rise, they're going to murder us. If we rise, they're going to do this. If we rise, and that's just the tip of the iceberg of what has so many of us in binds around our true advancement. There's collective things that have nothing to do with blackness or being melanin dominant being. Just being elevated in a world full of mediocrity. That's not even a black thing. That's a human thing. You got that going on down in the unconscious mind. And the many faces of fear. What has proven so far is that you truly are, listen, chosen is not a glamorous, there really is something in you. Did anybody here see that viral video of that beautiful dark-skinned woman who was basically dispelling this idea of people who are like drawn to something, and because they're drawn to it, or because they get certified in it, or because they really like it, that somehow they think that that's for them, like they're the chosen ones for it, versus the people who they can't even sleep well before they even know what this thing is. They get called to do it. You know, they invest money, time, like their whole life focus is right. And she talked about, and she was a younger woman, so I was very happy to see her talking about it, because all these people get excited about tarot cards and they're like, yeah, I'm excited about it. Or people who get drawn to Reiki and they become the certified master, or they all these different things, and somehow they think that that's them, they're chosen, they're called for that. You just liked it, and it's something you pick up and put down every now and then. You do part-time outside of your 9 to 5. You know, you're not really standing on it. You're not. It's very different than somebody who truly is chosen for a thing. When you truly are chosen, you want to get rid of it. You go through a path of wanting to get rid of it, because the command on your life, the call on your life, feels so burdensome. And the way it actually communicates with you, and for you to do things is so ego defying and like not of this world. There's a distinction. And it even took me some time to realize what seems to be this difference between these spiritual people, right? Who are like spiritual knowledge, and you know what I mean? They're creating all this content about spirituality, and like they have so much knowledge, but it's like something, but they're not like in it, on it. It's right. And it's a real fine line. And this is where that divide I talked about earlier, it's a true divide, because it's like they have knowledge, they can research, they've studied under master teachers, they've, explored and meditated, and right, they've done the things that so many people can do, and people who do, right, they get certified in Reiki, they study under the Hebrew people, the Jews, the Christian, the Muslim, right? Like they do all the studying, they do all the things, but there's a level of chosenness that's not on them, right? And you can tell by how they move, the decisions they make, how they live, versus the other ones of us. First of all, there's a portion of us who end up killing ourselves, right? Because it's such a call, and when we don't reconcile the war, that can take you out. Which is why Carl Jung talked about, you got to either be with a master or be highly careful when you start traversing the unconscious mind. It's like true danger zone in a way. Like you can't be at peace unless you do it. There's certain things you don't agree with in the matrix at all, right? Like how we love to talk about Jesus. Like Jesus didn't get married and have kids. You want to be like Jesus? Not really. Jesus didn't get married and have kids. Oh, see, because you're not called like Jesus. You're called to do what Jesus tells you to do, right? So like, this is what I mean by the divide. Because men who don't get married and have kids, what do average men say? They don't trust them. They don't respect them. Women say it's a red flag on them. But is it possible that he's a modern day Jesus? This is what I mean by the great divide. Is this making sense? Yeah, see, so anxiety dissolves one when you get around your sameness. Isolation and going into the unconscious mind induces high anxiety, which is why so many people quit. Insomnia, anxiety, restlessness, can't focus. You're not meant to do traversing of the deep mind, the unconscious mind, etc. You're not meant to do that alone sustainably over time as a lifestyle. Okay, so yes, that's accurate. Can't sleep, all that. Carl Jung had a whole lover, his dominant lover. Her name was Tony. To be with him as he was traversing this, because it's compelling. And you need somebody that's not locked into frames of who a woman should be and what a man should be and what all. You get locked into all that, you basically chokehold the flow of power. Basically, people who are interested in something, who like something, who like to study it, practice it, talk about it, versus people their whole purpose of being born is to bring this thing forth. It's a very, and you know it. If you questioning, that's your indicator that you're not it. The people who are really it, they know it. If you're like, am I it? You're not it. And you can't compete to get there. You can't study to get there. You can't. Anyway. So, what I'm here to do, as someone who's chosen, I'm thinking of Miss, everybody has a role. Remember that. You have a role, regardless of your position in life. My job is to really hold the pole, a pole that most people are not going to hold. Okay. And to provide the environment and the tools and the community and the love and the play and the depth and the dark and the transformation inside of the woman community, inside of Shadow Gold, inside of Heal Your Witch Woman, any and everything that comes from me, through me, so that you can come into your power to the degree that you feel called to come into your power, your voice, wielding, so you can manifest in the world, so you can create the content you are called to, so you can lead and speak and create and live and travel the way you feel called to. Because you need an environment that has infinite capacity, that is spacious energetically. You understand? I'm glad, Kavad, if I'm saying your name right. The world tells you you are not, can't listen to those voices. Yeah. Leah, are you new here? So one, you need to get in community with your sameness. If you are in a place of either, like if you genuinely like it's not time for me to be in community, I feel like I'm supposed to be alone right now, working alone, because that is part of the journey. If you're feeling like I need to be alone, etc., I recommend a couple books for you to start to understand what's going on inside of you as a feminine vessel, and historically what is just in the ethers that you'll feel, but you'll see, depending on your current frequency, little to nobody talking about. One book is called Sacred Prostitute: The Eternal Aspect of the Feminine. Sacred Prostitute: The Eternal Aspect of the Feminine. Now, I know most people here, your mind goes to the modern day prostitute who basically sells pussy, right? Read the book. So that's one that I recommend you do for, you said here, let me make sure, steps that you can take to master your chosen path. Yeah. The other one is Into the Heart of the Feminine. Both of these books you can find on Amazon. Into the Heart of the Feminine. It has a gray cover. It has Medusa on the front. Start there. And also, where do you intuitively feel called to go? What do you just intuitively feel called to do next? Do that. All right. Finally, Womanhood Initiations start next Monday. There's going to be one Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday of next week. If you are ready for community, to be around your sameness with women who are doing this deeper work, with women who are coming home to their bodies, with women who are unleashing their voice, with women who are looking to play a bigger game, coming into true self-love, not like this, I'm going to the spa and get my nails done because I love me, but the kind of love that comes with the unification of opposites, okay? That comes with really being able to stand for who you are, regardless of external voices and circumstances. To be able to take the vision that you've had for a long time and actually bring it into the material realm, and to live a thrilling life on the terms that you feel called to live them. This is all of what we're doing and so much more inside of the woman community. Again, the woman community is $99 a month. What the Womanhood Initiations do, which are free, the Womanhood Initiations give us 1 hour together on Zoom to see each other. You see me, I see you, to have some intimate time together inside of structure, a container, to speak out fears, to hear other women speaking theirs, to be reflected back to by women of power, and for you to elevate and move through to get a feeling of what it's like inside of the woman community. I made this community intentionally to make it affordable. For those of you who are telling me, gosh, Naima, I really want Shadow Gold, but I can't afford it. You know, even for those of you who are unfortunately are saying you can't afford $197 for Heal Your Witch Wound. Okay. I made this community intentionally to make it affordable and accessible. It's $99 a month. Doors will be open for 1 week, next week only. Get yourself on the wait list to come inside of one of these womanhood initiation experiences by going to the link in my bio. Click it. There are 4 options. You want to click the second one that says Womanhood Initiation and put yourself on the wait list. Okay. More details and all that are going to be going out this week. And then the link, the Zoom link to join, will be going out Monday. Monday, you'll receive the link to join on Zoom. You need to have your camera on and you need to be on time and you need to be present. If you can't have your camera on, if you cannot be on time, if you cannot be present, don't come. And you have 4 opportunities to show up next week. Remember, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Okay? I'm glad you're going to be there, Sherry. And keep in mind that these are a gateway into the woman community. Okay? If you're not ready to be in community, you should not come to the Womanhood Initiation. If you're not ready to invest, do not come to the Womanhood Initiation. I want women there who are ready for community, who are hungry for community, and are ready to invest in themselves. Okay? Thank you. You all take good care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon.